Hello. Oh, well, see, now here's a good demonstration of while we start on a discussion of Journey to Mars, chapters 41 to 49. I will also demonstrate my lighting situation here. How I started off originally was just the overhead lighting of my office, just a regular light, and all that is my jury-rigged multiple light source thing. So yes, let's have a quick discussion of Journey to Mars, which I usually do larger hunks where I'm doing discussions, but because I am reading Journey to Mars out loud, sort of most of the time, one chapter a day. I got 2 chapters in today. Because of that, it's going at slow motion. But the thing is, if I don't do the discussions a little bit more rapidly, then I'm going to forget what I actually read out loud, and won't do much to actually discuss it. So I think with where we had gotten to was we'd gotten like kind of the mystical things with Thermator, and Thermator kind of giving him telling him his fortune, talking about elopements and escapes and duels by pistols and things like that, which rapidly becomes true because we are not in Mandel Ultima. We're in the capital of Sundal Luzon, where Prince Divajor is the king apparent. His father is clinging close to death, and indeed in these chapters he dies. And the prince, he ends up having Frederick Hamilton ends up having a duel with the prince, and so that prophecy comes true. The prince, being such a dastardly type, has got some kind of like weird armor on, and he's also got a battery, so that basically it zaps the person who touches them with steel. Which, because Frederick Hamilton is very strong on Mars, doesn't do that, and he defeats him and would dispatch him, but his daughter intervenes and begs him not to, even though that indeed Frederick has help, because Thermator conjures a vision of his dead wife, whom he basically drove mad through neglect and everything else. Prince, of course, does not take this lying down. Arrests Hamilton, sends him off to prison. We have a lot of prison stuff. We have a trial, a kangaroo court trial. Then we have the condemned cell, which has a lovely summary in it. This is in chapter 44, which I will definitely go back to later in mine for when I'm going to do a review. And there's also a lady in love with him, Alessandra, who's in love with him and wants to rescue him, and indeed has this whole plot of rescuing him. Gets visited by Prince Divajor in Life or Death, and Divajor actually does make a good villain speech. I've been kind of criticizing a Pope for being kind of, we're going to have more exposition. He does a good villain speech in this thing, where Divajor has got it's got fake letters between him and Alessandra. I think it's Alessandra, basically, saying like they're in love, and he has no interest in him and interest in Princess Sulima, because Princess Sulima has, of course, got the hots for Frederick, and that he's going to do all this to basically make it so that she'll be on the rebound, and then she'll come to him, as the great thing. Now we have all this kind of build up, but then instead of Alessandra and all that, where you're expecting maybe elopement or something to happen, but Alessandra isn't married or anything like that. What we have is Lord Chumavant and Lady Chumavant, Elphine, come to rescue him instead, because they've heard that the king has died, and that you need to get him out now, or else he's going to get killed. So what they concoct is a thing where a fake story where Chumavant has been overpowered, and Frederick Hamilton has disguised himself as Chumavant and eloped with Elphine. So that part of the prophecy has also come through, and Elphine has disguised herself as a sailor. Young elfin girl, now a lady, becomes a young kind of bravadiccio Tommy Topsail. And as they say in chapter 47, they have some amateur theatrics to get themselves out. They get one of Chumavant's votes, not letting the captain know that this indeed is not Lord Chumavant, and they fly off back to Mantel Utama. But they are chased upon the way. They end up going back to the Fountain of Youth on that island, where Pedro, the kind of the caretaker there, hides them away, and a captain is kind of led on a kind of a red herring search around the island. Finally goes down. It's like, oh, you want to see the cavern? Shows them the cavern, locks everybody in the cavern, and Pedro holds them there while they fly off for a ride for life, where they encounter another ship going the other way, which apparently kind of unbelievably, Sundal Untama is basically doing everything, like giving up all its giving up like tons and tons of stuff just to get Frederick Hamilton back, which is like, it's very sweet. I doubt very much if they would actually, there's a certain level of believability, but Divijar's big thing is like, yeah, I want all that, and I want Princess Salima, and once I get Princess Salima, I'll release Frederick Hamilton. If she doesn't agree, I'll execute him. If you attack us, I will immediately execute him. And this could also just be done even with them knowing that at this point that Frederick has flown the coop. But there's basically an 8 o'clock. It's a ticking clock. Gotta have a ticking clock. There's an 8 o'clock deadline that she has to sign the contract by, and it's of course 7 o'clock now when they learn this. And it's like, will there be time to get back? And so they're rushing through the thing. They're rushing. It's a ride for life, and they're rushing through. But of course, what happens? There's a giant storm happening that's buffeting against them, and Frederick is very melodramatic fellow, is like, the storm outside mirrored the storm in my soul. It's like racking me, and they're racing. So that's the thing, and we get Elphine at the end, just like, trust in God, because this is, strangely for Set on Mars, is a very Christian story. But I guess that more reflects the earthly author of the story, Augustus W. Pope. He's the Pope, after all. So yeah, that is chapters 41 to 49 of Journey to Mars. More videos later.